In recent news, tensions between Russia and Ukraine continue to escalate as NATO chief, Jens Stoltenberg, warns that the Ukrainian city of Bakhmut may fall to Russian forces in a matter of days. The city is located in the eastern region of Ukraine, which has been the site of a long-running conflict between Ukrainian government forces and Russian-backed separatists. Stoltenberg's warning comes amid reports of increased military activity by Russia along the border with Ukraine, as well as in the Crimean Peninsula, which was annexed by Russia in 2014. Ukraine has accused Russia of amassing tens of thousands of troops near its borders, raising fears of a potential invasion. The situation has prompted calls for de-escalation from the international community, including from the United States and the European Union. The U.S. has pledged its support for Ukraine and has urged Russia to cease its aggressive actions, while the EU has called for dialogue and diplomacy to address the crisis. The conflict in eastern Ukraine has claimed thousands of lives since it began in 2014, and has been marked by frequent ceasefire violations and sporadic outbreaks of violence. The situation has been further complicated by the annexation of Crimea, which has led to ongoing tensions between Ukraine and Russia. The current escalation in tensions has raised fears of a wider conflict, and has prompted calls for diplomatic efforts to prevent further violence. The UN Security Council is set to hold a meeting on the crisis in the coming days, as international leaders continue to seek a resolution to the ongoing conflict. In response to the heightened tensions, Ukraine has called for increased military aid and support from its international allies, including the US and EU. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky has urged NATO to accelerate his country's membership process, while also pledging to defend Ukraine's sovereignty and territorial integrity. The situation has also sparked concern among neighboring countries, including Poland and Lithuania, which have expressed solidarity with Ukraine and called for a peaceful resolution to the crisis. NATO has announced plans to increase its military presence in the region, with the deployment of additional forces and equipment to support its member states in the region. The crisis in Ukraine has also raised concerns about the broader security implications for Europe and the international community. Analysts have warned that a potential conflict could have far-reaching consequences, including the disruption of energy supplies, the displacement of civilians, and the potential for wider destabilization in the region. Despite the escalating tensions, there have been some signs of diplomatic progress in recent weeks. Russia has expressed its willingness to hold talks with Ukraine, and there have been reports of back-channel communications between the two sides. However, it remains to be seen whether these efforts will lead to a lasting resolution to the crisis, or whether the situation will continue to deteriorate in the coming days and weeks.